Court documents suggest a group of men arrested for beating and robbing a Dallas woman last month are members of a Venezuelan street gang. 4 out of 5 suspects for the September robbery are now in custody. 3 of them were arrested after a tense standoff in Irving yesterday afternoon. Police caught up with them because the first guy to be arrested ratted the rest of them out. Fox 4's David Santendry live at the Dallas County Jail with more on the story. David.
Yes, Steve. According to those court documents, the first suspect to be arrested gave names of those accomplices to police. He also gave an address in Irving where they could be located at, and he told police they are a part of a Venezuelan gang. 4 men arrested for allegedly beating a woman, tying her up, and robbing her inside her Northwest Dallas home on September 21st are believed to be connected to a Venezuelan gang, according to newly obtained arrest warrants. The robbery was reported by a woman who neighbors say lives alone at a home near the Dallas North Tollway and Lover's Lane. The woman told police she was approached as she got out of her vehicle and forced into her home at gunpoint. She was hit on her head with a gun and tied up. The suspects used Google Translate to communicate. The men threatened to cut off her fingers if she did not cooperate. They stole $75,000 worth of jewelry and more. A fingerprint on a wooden coin box, however, led police to Manuel Hernandez, who coincidentally was booked by Colleyville police just 2 days earlier and released the day before the robbery. The 28-year-old had a defective brake light, no driver's license, no insurance, the vehicle was not registered, and he was allegedly in possession of drug paraphernalia. So Dallas police used that info to locate Hernandez at his apartment in Hurst. During an interview with Dallas police, court documents say Hernandez admitted to being involved in the robbery and gave names of 4 others involved, who he says are part of a criminal street gang known as El Anti-Tren. Of those men, 3 were arrested following a SWAT standoff at an Irving apartment complex Thursday. Immigrations and Customs Enforcement tells Fox 4 all 4 suspects are from Venezuela. All now have immigration holds, according to Dallas County Jail records, keeping them from being released on bond until ICE can determine next steps. Dallas Police Department remains very tight-lipped about this investigation. It's not doing any interviews. We have no information on that final suspect who appears to still be out there, and we still do not know why or how this woman was targeted.
A man arrested for causing a crash that injured 5 children and a teenager and then running off later admitted to police that he did drink a couple of beers, but he allegedly told them he felt safe enough to drive. Jose Castro is also in an immigration hold tonight in the Dallas County Jail. He faces multiple charges, including intoxication assault. Police say after he ran from the crash, he hid in some bushes in a Dallas neighborhood. Fox 4's Peyton Yeager joins us now with surveillance video from that neighborhood. Peyton.
Heather, and while the suspect, Jose Castro, is here at the Dallas County Jail, 2 of the 6 children who were injured Saturday evening are still at Dallas Children's Hospital this evening. Now, neighbors nearby tell me they heard the impact of the crash, but then they were told by police to stay inside because the suspect was hiding nearby. It was inside these bushes where police say 20-year-old Jose Castro was hiding out after police say he was drunk and caused a crash in Oak Cliff that sent 6 children to the hospital Saturday evening.
I haven't seen anything that chaotic in my lifetime, to be honest with you.
Daniel Matusa's home backs up to the intersection of Ledbetter and Rugged Drive. The sound of the impact around 10 p.m. caused him to immediately sit up.
If you can imagine a gunshot amplified by 10 to 20 times, it was about that loud.
Ring video from a neighbor shows officers immediately swarming the street. In another video, you can see a flashlight shining straight on Matusa's front yard. Eventually, a police canine found Castro.
Trust me, I'm actually happy he just stayed out of my backyard. We've already had individuals, 2 in my lifetime, who hid in our backyard from local police.
According to an arrest warrant affidavit Fox 4 obtained on Monday, Castro ran a red light at Ledbetter while speeding in his Chevy Malibu and collided into a GMC Acadia that was attempting to turn. 8 people were in the Acadia. The adult driver and front passenger in the Acadia were not injured, but 5 children and a teenager were hospitalized. A 4-year-old boy who was not in a child safety seat was ejected from the Acadia, and 5 other victims ranging in ages from 4 months old to 17 years old were taken to the hospital. The 4-year-old remains in critical condition with head fractures at Dallas Children's Hospital. A 5-year-old suffered a jaw injury that required surgery. Castro took off from the scene without checking on the family. His passenger inside the Malibu was later questioned by police and told investigators they, quote, each had consumed 4 Coronas in the 10 to 15 minutes before leaving the apartment. While being questioned by police, Castro at first said he wasn't the driver. Then he later admitted he was. He allegedly told officers he drank 2 beers that night and that he felt safe to drive. While at Parkland Hospital, Dallas police noticed Castro had bloodshot eyes and failed other field sobriety tests. Police took a blood test while at the hospital, and they're waiting for the results. Right now, Castro faces 6 felonies, including intoxication assault with a vehicle, accident involving serious bodily injury, and accident involving injury. Again, he remains on an immigration hold here while being housed at the Dallas County Jail.
Dallas police are investigating after a rideshare driver punched an elderly passenger from behind. It's 10 o'clock. I'm Clarice Tinsley. A surveillance camera captured the attack yesterday in the Dallas Design District. The passenger tells us it started as a dispute over legroom. Fox 4's David Santindri has the latest from the victim and the police. David.
Yeah, and that 68-year-old victim appears to be significantly smaller than the rideshare driver who reportedly assaulted him. Surveillance footage obtained by Fox 4 shows a man punching an elderly man in the back of the head Wednesday afternoon. The passenger says the attacker was his Uber driver. How old are you?
I'm 68.
68, gotcha. At 3:20, an Uber driver in a Chevrolet Malibu arrives to pick up an elderly couple at Market Center Boulevard in Dallas. The couple begins to get in the back seats. 2.5 minutes, however, go by and the car is still there. Then you see the elderly male passenger get out of the car and he's punched in the back of the head by the driver before falling to the ground. The driver hovers above him, while the female passenger slowly gets out of the car.
And suddenly hit me like that here.
Suleiman Gaba is the man who was hit. You say you were just telling him that there wasn't enough room in the back seat and you needed more leg room?
Yeah, I cannot sit in the back seat. Very small place, you know.
Gaba says his complaint about a lack of leg room led to the driver canceling the ride and telling him to get out of the car.
And he said, I'm canceling your ride.
Dallas Police Department says there was an argument before the rideshare driver hit Gaba in the head. Was there anything you said to him, or did he just do it out of the blue?
I just told him, you know, why are you canceling my ride, you know. At that time, my wife told him, you know, I'm calling the cop, you know.
The suspect drove away before police arrived.
I was thinking, you know, what's happened with me, why he hit me.
Gaba, originally from Pakistan, says he moved to Dallas from New Mexico a few years ago. He says he does not own a car and orders Uber rides to get around.
We wanted to go to the Walmart.
Gaba hopes investigators track down the man who, instead of giving him a ride, gave him a punch to the head.
Because he deserved this, you know.
He deserves jail, you think?
Yeah.
Anyone with information can contact Dallas Police Department. Now, the victim did file a report with Uber, and we have been in contact with Uber. They say they are in communication with the victim and working to provide us with more information about the driver. When we get that, we'll be sure to keep you updated. For now, Clarice, I'll send it back to you.
All right, David, we know you will. Thank you. A mother remains behind bars tonight, charged with shooting a driver on I-20 earlier this week. 44-year-old Latusha Holland is facing an aggravated assault with a deadly weapons charge. According to arrest documents, Holland alleged this was a case of road rage, stating she fired 2 shots out of fear. Her daughter spoke with Fox 4 this afternoon. She, too, is claiming self-defense. Fox 4's Peyton Yeager live at the Dallas County Jail with the update. Peyton.
Clarice, Dallas police tell us this investigation is still ongoing. They're still working to re-interview everyone involved in this incident and also a witness who pulled over Tuesday evening. The man who was shot remains in the hospital this evening, and the 44-year-old woman who was arrested is here tonight at the Dallas County Jail. 44-year-old Latusha Holland is facing an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon charge after police say she shot a man in the stomach on Interstate 20 in Dallas. Holland's daughter, Laderica Holland, was in the passenger seat with her mom late Tuesday evening.
And I feel like she thought it was a life or death situation. And I did too.
Holland says she and her mother were on their way to work for a night shift. Holland says it all started when the driver of a Chevy Suburban hopped on the highway.
In order for him not to hit us, we switched over to a different lane and speed up so he wouldn't hit us. But he ends up switching all the way over to the left lane. And then after that, he switches quickly back to the right lane. And then he throws his hazard lights on. We're passing him, and we're passing the 18-wheeler. Out of nowhere, we see him in the rearview mirror, speeding exceedingly again, and he cuts us off. He jumps in front of us and cuts us off and slams on his brakes.
Holland says she called 911 during the incident. Her phone is in police custody, but her recent log on her Apple Watch shows her call just before 11 p.m. Tuesday night.
He's right here trying to ram the side of our car.
According to an arrest warrant affidavit, Latusha Holland told investigators a similar story. Police say she told them the Suburban, quote, aggressively cut her off, and she reached for her handgun and fired a warning shot. Scene video shows the Suburban's back window shot out. Laderica Holland also confirmed to police her mom opened fire.
She felt like she didn't have any other choice as to do that, what she did.
The affidavit goes on to say Latusha Holland told police she tried to exit the interstate at Lancaster Road, but the driver of the Suburban, quote, stopped his vehicle in the middle of the exit ramp, blocking the roadway. She told police the driver of the Suburban was acting like he had something in his hand. Her daughter backs this up.
And he was walking towards us with his arm up. So we couldn't see if he had anything in his hand. So that's when my mom took the shot. And that's when I was talking to 911. So everything was just going fast.
Laderica Holland says after her mom fired that second shot, her mother and another driver got out and applied pressure to the man's gunshot wound. When police arrived, officers made contact with Latusha Holland and found her gun placed on the hood of her vehicle. Dallas police say no weapon was found on or near the man. The man was taken to Baylor Hospital in critical condition.
I'm scared for my life. I just wanted to go to work. Me and my mom, that's all we wanted to do was just go to work.
A Dallas detective called Laderica right before our interview this afternoon and had her retell her side of the story again. Now, as for her mother, Latusha Holland, prior to this arrest, Latusha Holland had no felonies on her record. Now, Clarice, the Dallas County District Attorney, it will be ultimately up to that office to decide if they move forward to prosecute Latusha Holland.
Dallas police said today they arrested a man accused of assaulting a Richardson ISD bus driver. Good evening. I'm Clarice Tinsley. The assault happened on Skillman Street, just north of 635. Fox 4's Lori Brown live at Richardson ISD. Lori.
Clarice, the assault to the Richardson ISD bus driver happened more than 7 months ago, but police were able to recently identify him through social media.
Usually my route is pretty loud in Richardson, and on that day it was very out of control.
Danny Senko, a school bus driver for 7 years, never expected the job of driving elementary school students would make him fear for his life. But that is what happened February 1st.
So out of control to the point where I could not drive safely. So by protocol, I had to pull my bus over and radio in for backup help and police.
Senko pulled over in the 9300 block of Skillman Street in Dallas to wait for police to help with the unruly students on the bus. That's when Senko says a man outside started pounding his fist on the door.
Of course, I wouldn't open the door for him.
Senko moved the bus about 1,000 feet to a bus stop.
And he grabbed open the doors and actually pulled them open which I didn't think you could do in a school bus.
Police say that man was 28-year-old Corvanta Brooks.
I had 2 seconds to think what to do.
Senko used his left foot to try to push the intruder out.
He grabbed my left ankle and dragged me out of the bus. And so all that weight was on the bone going into my hip. So it was kind of painful.
Senko showed us photos of the bruises he sustained. He says Brooks never made any kind of demand before assaulting him.
He never said a word to me, but I think somebody on board the bus was related.
According to the arrest affidavit, Brooks was identified through social media and then a photo lineup. The affidavit says video from the school bus corroborated Senko's account of what happened. Senko says he was thankful to learn of Brooks' arrest.
This hijacking of a school bus, pretty serious, and I got injured pretty bad.
While Senko did not finish his route that day, he did manage to go back to work the next morning at 6 a.m. He is still a school bus driver, but for a different district. Gloria.
The federal government unsealed an indictment for a Russian national wanted for targeting multiple North Texas companies with ransomware attacks.
The FBI is actively searching for him tonight. Fox 4's David Centenry is in Dallas with more of these details. David.
Well, the ransomware attack was allegedly ran by a 31-year-old Russian national. The indictment does not say why North Texas businesses were targeted. The Justice Department unsealed an indictment charging a Russian national, Alexander Ryzenkov, for ransomware attacks against North Texas businesses. But it's unclear if Ryzenkov will ever be held accountable for the attacks.
They hide behind the dark web and multiple VPNs.
Mitch Thornton, executive director of SMU's Darwin Deason Institute for Cybersecurity, says it's common for ransomware attacks to be linked to people from other nations, making extradition difficult.
We've seen a lot from Russia. We've seen some from China. We've seen some from North Korea.
Ransomware can begin with a simple email, tricking someone to click on a link, which allows hackers to hijack important data to hold ransom.
The extortion almost always involves data exfiltration. In other words, they steal your data before they encrypt it.
According to the 2023 indictment, Ryzenkov and co-conspirators began gaining access to computer networks of North Texas businesses starting around 2017. 2 companies headquartered in Dallas, one in Louisville, one in Orange, Texas, and an Indiana company with a data center in Dallas. Ryzenkov and co-conspirators demanded millions of dollars in the form of Bitcoin.
Well, they're going to go after someone that they think has the financial resources to pay the ransom.
The businesses are not named in the indictment, but some payments were made to hackers.
There's not a whole lot that can be done, and there's no guarantee that they'll follow through and give you the key, even if you pay it.
At least 3 of those 5 companies paid the ransoms and were given their data back, according to that indictment. Now, Ryzenkov is believed to be in Russia, according to that indictment, possibly Moscow. FBI Dallas is investigating.
Dallas County has paid more than $1.5 million to court-appointed attorneys and special prosecutors for the 2014 murder case that has never gone to trial.
So we asked for the financial information through an open records request. Fox 4's Sean Rabb has been following the case closely and has more.
I cannot begin to understand why this case has still not come to justice.
This is the case of David Wade McDermott, arrested and indicted in the spring of 2015 for the murder of Garland grandmother Janet Vanderslice in her home during the summer of 2014, a case that's never gone to trial.
Nobody's done anything. They're just passing the case. They're kicking the can down the road. And this, I mean, justice delayed is justice denied. That's just insanity.
Court records show the case has been passed for court dates more than 30 times. And there's been a number of defense attorneys appointed, later to remove themselves from the case. One quit to go to work for the district attorney at the time. When that happened, the DA's office then recused itself from prosecuting the case. That was 2017, 7 years ago. Special prosecutors were then appointed by Judge Carter Thompson, those also changing over the years. But since 2015, court-appointed defense attorneys and investigators have billed the county for about $25,847. But special prosecutors have submitted invoices totaling $1,553,647.
You've had a case for 10 years, 30 passes, and $1.5 million to an outside, or what we call a special prosecutor, and then $25,000 to $30,000 in court appointments. This makes no sense. And this is a murder case. This makes no sense.
Because he'd been in jail 2 years with no movement, McDermott was released on a personal recognizance bond in 2017, at first with an ankle monitor. But that was removed by county officials months after he got out on bond. The current special prosecutor appointed in 2019. Later, though, COVID slowed the courts in 20 and 21. The case still has not gone before a jury. This is what her son, who found his mother murdered in her home back in 2014, told us last month.
It's been over 10 years since she was murdered, and justice needs to happen.
Dallas County Commissioner John Wiley Price frustrated at it all, at the amount of tax dollars spent so far, and the still open wound in the family of Janet Vanderslice.
It is taxpayer dollars, and I think that the taxpayers deserve it. But as much as anything, the son and the family deserves to have an outcome with regards to this case.
We tried to reach out to Judge Carter Thompson, the case in his courtroom, but his staff told us that he was in a trial today and could not speak with us. When we tried to reach him in September, we were told he was out of town. He did not return our calls. This case is now set to go to trial early January. We'll be watching and reporting.